Ari Chambers, and this is my bracket. It might be a little spicy, though. First up, UCLA Southern. I have the dominant UCLA team moving on. Richmond, Georgia Tech. We've seen the best of Georgia Tech, so Richmond, we got to push you forward. Ole Miss, Ball State. We heard Coach Yo. Let's move her forward. Baylor, Grand Canyon. I don't see an upset. Baylor, you got next round. Then we have Florida State, George Mason. Florida State with Tanaya Latson. Go ahead over. LSU, San Diego State. Got LSU. Michigan State, Harvard. Here's where I have an upset. We have Harmony. She's been balling this whole season. Watch out for her. High-scoring guard going ahead and beating Michigan State. So a 10 seed. Yes, I know it's double-digit, but we're moving on. NC State, Vermont. NC State. Next up, we have USC versus UNCG. As much as I love UNCG, go ahead over USC. Cal versus Mississippi State. I have California in this. Kansas State, Fairfield. Here's where I have another upset. You have the 8th-ranked defense in the country defeating Kansas State, K-State. You know, Aoki Lee, not necessarily in full health. I don't know. I think Fairfield can pull it off. Hot take, but they're going on. Kentucky versus Liberty. I have Kentucky. Kenny Brooks, and Kenny Brooks we trust for this round. Then another upset. Murray State defeating Iowa. Just their offense, and can Iowa stop them? We don't know. Iowa's not necessarily known for their defense, so advancing Murray State. Oklahoma, Florida Gulf Coast now. I wanted a spicy take for here, but it's just not happening. Oklahoma, go on through. Oklahoma State versus South Dakota State. Again, our great Charlie Cream has preached to us about how South Dakota State probably not properly seeded. So I have them advancing. UConn, Arkansas State, Connecticut going it over. South Carolina, I wouldn't want to see them in the first round. Absolutely not. South Carolina advancing over Tennessee Tech. Then we have Utah, Indiana. I got IU, Alabama, Green Bay. Bama, come on over. And I've been high on Norfolk State for a while now. Diamond Johnson, been balling both offensively and getting steals, just pesky both ends of the floor. They returning 7 people, all 5 starters, all played into their system. I know they have not won any games in the NCAA tournament, but I think it's going to be their sweet spot this year. Norfolk State, go ahead and advance. You're going to be facing Alabama. Next up, West Virginia and Columbia. I have West Virginia moving on. UNC, Oregon State. As much as a great story as Oregon State is, we have Carolina moving on. Vanderbilt, Oregon. Michaela Blake's man. Come on over, Vanderbilt. Then Duke, Lehigh. Duke. Texas and William and Mary. Texas, the #1 seed. Come on over. Illinois, Creighton. Creighton, you know, killing it in the Big East. Got to give it to them. Tennessee, South Florida. In other years, maybe would have picked them. Not the best team that we've seen from South Florida, so Tennessee, come on over. They're rested. They're ready. Ohio State and Montana State. Ohio State, the Ohio State, advancing. Michigan, Princeton. I have Michigan advancing. Notre Dame against Stephen F. Austin. They're getting their act together. They're showing up to March Madness. They're dominant, a dominant win over the 14th seed on this round. Louisville, Nebraska. I know there are a lot of people picking Nebraska for this, but I have to settle in with Louisville. Jeff Walsh knows what he's doing during tournament time. TCU, Fairleigh Dickinson, TCU. The pieces are just working, man. Let's go on over. Here's where we get spicy. Second round. I guess it's not spicy. I've been spicy this whole time, right? So, UCLA versus Richmond. Richmond just does not have enough to pull off that upset. UCLA is a #1 seed for a reason. UCLA is going on over. Now, Ole Miss and Baylor. This one I really, really struggled with. We know how Coach Yo feels about not hosting, and I think they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. I hope the focusness could be there on their actual style of play, game of play. But I have them beating Baylor just because of that chip. Florida State, LSU. We're all looking at Flau'jae Johnson and Anissa Morrow with the boots on their foot, and I know some of it's preventative, some of it's actual injury. Kim Mulkey said they're going to be healthy come tournament, but I'm looking at Tanaya Latson on the other end like, okay. Florida State has given me no reason to doubt, so I'm going to advance Florida State because LSU, I don't know the actual state of health. And then Harvard, NC State. Harvard, great win in the last round, but I have to pick NC State to advance. USC, Cal. This is the former Pac-12 championship. Pour one out for our Pac-12 homies that we want to see, but USC has got it. Then Fairfield, Kentucky. Kenny Brooks and his Kentucky Wildcats are going to advance under Georgia A. Moore. Taking it. Then Murray State, Oklahoma. We have Oklahoma advancing. South Dakota State and Connecticut. They're running to the next round. South Carolina, Indiana. They're going to advance. South Carolina. Alabama, Norfolk State. I'm so sorry, Norfolk State. I have Alabama for this. West Virginia, UNC. And then Vanderbilt, Duke is another hard one for me. I'm looking at Vanderbilt's offense versus Duke's defense, and I think that Duke has the confidence going in, which I will talk about a little bit later, but the confidence going into the tournament, winning their tournament title. So I have Duke narrowly advancing over Vanderbilt. Texas Creighton, again, dominant 1 seed in Texas. They're advancing. Tennessee, Ohio State. Tennessee's rested. I'm telling you that hockey swap that they have, the hockey subs that they have, is going to be effective. They can press, they can run, they got that. Michigan, Notre Dame still got their acts together. Louisville and TCU, I give TCU a slight edge, but this matchup is juicy because Haley Van Lith, this is the matchup that the committee wanted last year. You're going to get it this year, and Haley's going to show out and show how she's playing so much freer than she has in the past. Here we go. We have UCLA, Ole Miss. Again, UCLA gives me no reason to believe that they won't advance against Ole Miss. Florida State, NC State, an ACC matchup, but NC State is proven they're going to advance in this game. I'm sorry, as great as Tanaya Latson is, NC State just has too many threats at the guard position to even worry about that right now. So NC State's going to advance. USC, Kentucky, Southern Cal, hop on over. Oklahoma, UConn, Connecticut. We have South Carolina, Alabama. South Carolina has that. Okay, the Tobacco Road rivalry. Again, another one that tore me apart. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a very gritty game, a very physical game. But Duke, again, the confidence coming in, knowing that they're that grab when they come into this tournament. I have Duke, slight edge on North Carolina. I would be shocked if both teams score or over 50, to be honest. But it's going to be a matchup to see. Shout out to the 919. We love good rivalries in March Madness. We don't care if we've seen them during the season. Texas, Tennessee. I have Texas still advancing. I just think they're too just complete to be threatened by Tennessee right now. Notre Dame, TCU. Again, a back and forth decision. Notre Dame continues to click and show why they were ranked #1 in this season. Y'all, I lost sleep over this. And Corey Close, your team is amazing. NC State has got to play an impeccable, spotless game to make this happen. But it can happen because NC State's guard play can be so stellar and so efficient that it can take away from the fact that Lauren Betts is one of the best players in the country, if not the best player. You know, you have the argument between Juju and Lauren Betts, but if NC State can find a way to contain Lauren Betts and to have really efficient guard play, this can happen. I have NC State advancing. This is the hottest take of my bracket, I think. Well, the hottest take in this round of the bracket that I have. So NC State advance. Southern Cal and Connecticut. Hear me out. UConn is going to play, and I know Coach Ariema will say this is not the case, but it is Paige Becker's last year. They're going to play with a sense of urgency because this big three, Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, and Sarah Strong, are going to be separated after this year. This is the chance for Connecticut to really push. This is the vision that we had for Connecticut years ago. This is Connecticut's year to advance to the Final Four. South Carolina, Duke. Again, a great defensive display. I have South Carolina wearing Duke down. Texas, Notre Dame. Texas is going to hang on to that. Okay, here we go. NC State, Connecticut. Again, I don't see a situation where Connecticut doesn't make it happen for themselves this year. They just, that power three. I understand NC State has their power three, power four really, but just the post play at NC State, I'm still a little concerned with how they're going to show up. They have some maturing to do in that aspect, but Connecticut I have advancing. I think Paige Beckers is going to give us cinema and nothing short of that. For South Carolina, Texas, again, I know that it was a battle in the SEC for this. It came down to a literal coin flip, but I would never bet against the Donnie. And for the championship, listen, the way people are looking at the Gamecocks like they are just not such a dominant team confuses me, really. I think that they could have easily been the overall #1 seed. They're just too good top to bottom, just too good, too complete, too solid, too disciplined, too made for the moment, it's just like a well-oiled machine. Connecticut, obviously well coached. Both teams have been here. I have Connecticut giving us our first repeat champion. Not Connecticut, I have South Carolina giving us our first repeat champion since the 2013 through 2016 Connecticut team.